Please join me in reciting the Konko faith, our creed. We believe in Tenchi Kane no Kami, the divine parent of the universe. Our founder, Konko Daijin, embraced Kami's revelations and, as divine mediator, answered the call to eternal mediation. Our continuing goal from moment to moment is to realize Kami within each of us. We are fulfilled through Kami. Kami is fulfilled through us. The happiness of everyone is Kami's great wish. We give thanks for Kami's blessings, mysterious, wondrous, and mundane. Blessings begin with our own hearts, hearts filled with harmony and joy. We pray wholeheartedly to Kami, today and every day, trusting Kami as our loving parent, finding peace of mind. We live our faith and service to Kami, each other, and our world, nurturing and nurtured, mutually fulfilled. We revere those who have gone before us, spirits one with Kami, caring for us eternally. We respect and appreciate other paths taken by humanity towards spiritual fulfillment. Good morning, everyone, again. And so I will be giving the sermon this morning. So it's nice to be back from a trip to Philadelphia and Boston that I just made with my son last week. So we went to Philly for the wedding of Reverend Kawahatsu and Alice Kawahatsu's son, Grant Masashi Kawahatsu, and the bride, Suzanne Carpenter. So it was a wonderful event, the wedding and the reception, so much food. It was at the Downtown Club in Philly, on the 10th floor overlooking the beautiful historic area of Philadelphia. So it was very memorable and also a lot of dancing, very, very joyful. So congratulations to the newlyweds and their families, and also Reverend Rodney Yano. He did a wonderful job officiating the wedding. An additional excitement this past week and going forward for me has been watching the Olympics on TV. Can I have a show of hands of people who've been watching the Olympics? Yeah, most people. Yeah. The title of my sermon this morning is Spiritual Olympics, a Daily Faith Practice. So what do I mean by making our faith practice a daily spiritual Olympics? Well, when we watch the Olympics, every athlete's goal is to medal. And of course, everyone wants to win a gold medal, first place, but a second place silver and a bronze third place, these are also welcomed because the top 3 athletes receiving these medals as proof of their accomplishment, they are being formally celebrated and as they stand there on the podium. And the first place winner's country's national anthem is played. As the spiritual Olympics, it's an opportunity for us to challenge ourselves and reflect on our faith throughout the day, at the end of the day, and for the next day as well, having desire to deepen or grow our faith even more so that we all can have a kind and compassionate heart for Divine Parent Kami. Well, after we went to Philadelphia for the wonderful wedding, Evan and I both enjoyed some time in Boston. It was the first time for both of us to both Philadelphia and Boston. And I even dragged him to 2 museums, the Boston Museum of Fine Arts and Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum known as the Palace. I was even able to enjoy the night air at a Shakespeare play, The Winter's Tale, performed performed at the Boston Common, a beautiful park. And I even let Evan relax that night. He was able to stay at home alone. So when it was time to return to San Francisco, we took a taxi back to the airport. And, you know, I always try to make small talk with the driver to try to connect with them and to show them interest and respect them as fellow children of the Divine Parent. But this particular cab driver didn't want to seem to engage in conversation. I had asked him what time he started his shift that morning, and he responded in an annoyed tone, "To answer your question, 8 a.m." And I said, oh, well, that's good. It's not that early. Have you lived in Boston long? And I received no answer, at least not in words. But he sure did answer me in action. Remotely, he rolled down Evans and my windows all the way down as we rode in the back seat. And he locked the controls so that we couldn't raise the windows up. He left them that way all the way down as we were flying through the Boston Turnpike Tunnel, causing it to be so windy, and my hair was blowing all over the place. He left it that way, and I noticed that on his own driver's side, his window was only a quarter open, his window. And so I tried to push my button to raise my window up because it was so windy, but to no success. Finally, I had to shout at him and to raise our windows up. So he finally complied, and I was able to control my window. Well, I also noticed in the cab, hanging from his central rearview window, he had a religious relic. It was big, about 7 inches tall and about 4 inches wide. And I thought, how rude. He seems to be a person of faith, right, to have that big relic hanging on his rearview window with his mirror. And then it was long and dangling, and I thought, yet, he seems to be a person of faith, but he's treating us so badly, right? So I would say that he would definitely be off the spiritual Olympic podium for that action. So once we arrived at the airport, for a split second, I thought of not tipping him. That would be the human-centered thing to do. But the commie-centered thing to do was, I thought, oh, he probably has family. So I tried to be commie-centered, and so I gave him a decent tip. I even took the high road and thanked him. And to his credit, he did pop the trunk open and pulled out our luggages for us. So I was proud of myself for doing the right thing and reflecting on my own reaction for the cab driver's rudeness. Maybe I could be on the spiritual Olympic podium, maybe with a bronze medal. But later, the more I thought about this interaction, I was allowed to realize that, I wasn't being respectful of what he appeared to want. He didn't seem to want small talks. He gave me the hint by saying, to answer your question, as a way of acknowledging that he heard my question and was politely answering. But when I asked the second question, that seemed to be it for him, and he didn't want to engage in small talk. Yet rather than locking my window in the down position while speeding through the Boston Turnpike, he could have politely just said, "Ma'am, I prefer not to engage in small talk." For me, his behavior did not match his faith that he was boldly dangling from his rearview mirror. This situation reminded me of 2 teachings from the founding head minister of this faith, the late Reverend Yoshiaki Fukuda, in Live with Faith, Being a Konko Believer, in chapter 22, Be a Walking Billboard for Your Faith. So the first teaching is, your behavior in and out of church can work positively to spread the faith or be an obstacle to its advancement. So I'll repeat that. Your behavior in and out of church can work positively to spread the faith, or it can be an obstacle to its advancement. And the second teaching in this chapter is, you are a walking billboard for the faith. Keep this in mind in whatever you do and say. So to me, showing sincerity, gratitude, kindness, including helpfulness, compassion, and forgiveness are ways of reflecting the Konko faith and the heart of Divine Parent Kami. Many individuals come to mind who I view as billboards for this faith and had spiritual birthdays this month, whom I mentioned reciting their names at the ancestral altar. Among them was Reverend Fumiko Matsui, Dr. Hideo Yonenaka, Kenji Takeshita, Yaiko Ayabe, Haru Mizuhara, Kikue Mary Kayano, Kenny Oyama, Sakai Sasaki, and Tai Sasaki. Who are your faith role models? Is in this new school year, students, I hope you can think about your health and academics, but also your emotional and spiritual well-being. Maybe if you like challenges, you'd like to try playing the Spiritual Olympics game of seeing yourself doing acts of kindness each day and see yourself on the Spiritual Olympics podium. Let's all try to get on and stay on the Spiritual Olympic podium daily, as well as be a billboard for our faith. Thank you.